Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I'm Ronique, and I appreciate you joining me here on my YouTube channel. This is a great time of year for me because I am a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio moon. So welcome to Scorpio season for everyone out there, especially my sun, moon, and rising Scorpios. So today we're going to talk about the full moon in Taurus that happens on October 31st, 2020 at 8 degrees 38 minutes at 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see here, the sun, like I said, is up here in Scorpio, and then the moon sits across the sky in Taurus. And at this full moon, it's on Halloween. So this is a really dynamic full moon because it's actually a blue moon because this is the second full moon we've had in October. The first one happened on October 1st, and now we have this full moon here on October 31st. And as you can see here, as the sun sits across the sky, Uranus also is conjunct with the sun and the moon. So that's going to mean a lot of new information, but a lot of like out of the blue information that we did not even expect. And since Uranus rules anything that is from the unknown, the unseen, and Scorpio rules the hidden world, the underworld, truth, lies, information coming out. And the moon, of course, down here in Taurus also has to do with emotional, but also anything that feels good to us, like our senses, our sensuality, but it also rules our money, our finances, our possessions. So don't be surprised at this full moon in Taurus on October 31st. This next 2-week lunation cycle can be very dynamic around information that comes out around your finances, around things that you thought were secure. It's just going to be a time that expect the unexpected is probably the best way to categorize, if you will, this full moon on a Halloween, October 31st. And Taurus also in the tarot, or tarot as I like to say, the Hierophant, the number 5 major arcana card, is the card that rules the Taurus zodiac sign. And the Hierophant symbolizes any type of doctrine or government rules, regulations, but any type of systems that have been in place for generations and years. This is this type of, here they call it the Pope or they call it the Hierophant, but you can see these two people are either learning from him, following his rules. He's basically being the leader for what these people believe. And so I think it's really interesting at this Taurus full moon, because since there is going to be this conjunct Uranus, I think there's going to be this really dynamic like undercurrent of like where your finances and your physical well-being are, and where is it that we thought we felt comfortable but maybe we didn't have all the information before. But remember, Mercury right now at this full moon is actually sitting, it actually is retrograde, but it has retrograded back into Libra. So I think that it's going to be interesting because remember, Libra is that sign of the scales and balance. And so there's going to be some tension towards what we feel like we want balance in communication, and maybe not getting all the communication that we would like around our finances. But I also think since this is a full moon, you're going to have this revelation. There's going to be a lot of things I think that come out the 2 weeks following this full moon in Taurus, because there really is that scorpionic sun is like shining light on this Taurus moon, and with that conjunction with Uranus in Taurus, just expect things not to go exactly as planned. If you've been hiding something, don't be surprised if it comes out. If people at work or something around your finances, your security information may come out there. So just be prepared, okay? So I thought today we would also start off with an oracle card, and I'm actually using your Sacred Wealth Code oracle cards. And since Taurus rules our wealth, our money, our possessions, I thought that this would be a good card to take out, just kind of like an overall theme for us at this full moon. Because remember, every time we have a lunation cycle, the energies are going to last at least until the next lunation cycle. So you're looking at whatever this next 30 days approximately, sometimes it's like 28 days. But also what I also tell people is think about whatever energies and themes you have going on in your personal life going on, because this is like a good time for you to figure out, okay, since this is a full moon, this usually means endings. So maybe 6 months from now, when the new moon occurs in Taurus, you would have been able to start something new, maybe end something that was no longer working. This is a really good time for people to be moving. My husband and I actually just downgraded, and I call it downgrading, but I also mean upgrading, because we actually downsized from a house to an apartment to be able to pay off debt, to be able to just get more in line with trying to get on that path of financial freedom. We've been carrying debt since before both of us met from college, and then we've been married for over 20 years, and it just felt right over this last few weeks. And we're now realizing, both my husband and I are both Scorpios, and so I think we both kind of had this revelation, like we need to like get straight with our finances. And now we're kind of realizing that moving into this Taurus full moon, this is exactly what we needed to kind of like reset ourselves. So it's kind of like we've left that financial burden in the past and are moving forward on a more secure footing. So that has a lot to do with Taurus too. So here it looks like we have the collaborator. Let me see if you can see that on screen. So the collaborator is, it says the moon, and it says, I co-create to create. Cooperative, receptive, connective, supportive, curious, empathetic, responsible, insightful, accepting, inclusive, reliable, and co-creative. So I think that's really interesting. I'm going to put it a little closer to the camera. Sometimes I can't get it quite good. But do you see how all of these hands are like picking the earth up in a collaborative motion? And it's almost as if all of these hands are signifying that all we need to do is work together in order to collaborate to make things happen. And I think that that's interesting going into, if you're here in the US, November 3rd obviously is the US's election day. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of information that comes out or has been hidden and starts to come out around election day. These next 2 weeks are going to be really dynamic for seeing how do people collaborate and work together to see how we can either build each other up, or you're going to see a lot of people breaking each other down, unfortunately, because that is just the nature of election season. But also with Mercury going back into Libra, there is this sense of like wanting balance and wanting to like work together collaboratively with people. I think we're going to see almost like the worst and the best sides of people during this election season and during this full moon in Taurus, because there definitely is this sense of like, where is it that our possessions, our money, our economy has been like, things have been hidden and we didn't know anything about. I think we're going to start hearing a lot more around that. And so I think that this collaborative or the collaborator oracle card is really a good symbol for all of us moving into this full moon in Taurus. So I'm going to put that up here, and I want you to think through. We're going to pull a past, present, and future spread, and I want you to think through at this full moon in Taurus, what is it around your finances, your possessions, also anything dealing with your physical world. So this could be your health, this could be your home, things that you are have been thinking through at other parts of this year. This may be a good time to figure out, do you have any truth or fears around conversations around money, around your finances, around your job, around where you live? This could be, you know, how you feel like your standing is in your physical community. So anything, because remember, Taurus is a earth sign. So don't be surprised over these next 2 weeks if you have more intuitive thoughts, because Scorpio is a water sign. So your intuition could be heightened around anything dealing with intuition, your fears. There could be things that come out that you weren't even thinking were on your radar because of that Uranian Taurus. Don't be surprised if you like just things come out of the blue, just around your finances, and make sure you keep an open mind around what comes out, because just because it comes out doesn't mean that it's totally true, but it doesn't mean it's totally false, if you know what I'm saying. So let's do a past, a present. So we have the 5 of Pentacles in the past. We have the 4 of Cups in the present, and we have the King of Cups in the future. And if you have followed me for a long time, I always say, I don't know why, but every time I'm on camera, the cards always come out in reverse. And the bottom of the stack, well, look at that. We have the Page of Swords upright. So let's see what this could mean. And then we're gonna pull some clarifiers too. So already what I'm hearing is that with the 5 of Pentacles, I usually turn it around and then I'll tell you what it means in reverse. The 5 of Pentacles to me usually means your resources, your finances may have dried up, or you may have been concerned about them. You can see these 2 people in the snow, and they're like, this person in the front doesn't even realize that this is like a church in the background, that they could go in and get warm and get some nourishment if they wanted. And this person who is on crutches is kind of looking up at the Pentacles, like wishing that they could be inside and be warm. But the 5 also usually signifies something dealing with a conflict or something that is just not balanced. And there could be this sense of, where is it that you've been too worried about your finances, or things haven't come true the way you would like to? And in reverse, I'm actually getting this as, in the past, you may have been worried about finances, but now moving into the present, maybe this is not such a big deal anymore. Maybe you were able to overcome it. Maybe you found a new job. Maybe you were worried about a job. Maybe money was supposed to come to you but didn't. But I think that this is a good card to have in the past, because what it's signifying to me is that this is behind you. Like, you're not having to worry about it so much. And with us coming into that Taurus full moon, there could be like a re-energizing around communication, since I said Mercury is in retrograde. You could find that by time Mercury goes direct on November 3rd and moves back into Scorpio and starts moving forward, you might get more information around how you were able to move past this 5 of Pentacles. So I think that's good to have in the past, because it's basically like, it's done, you're not worried about it, but there could be themes that come up in the future. Next is the 4 of Cups in the present. And the 4 of Cups usually signifies that you're not paying attention to some kind of emotional help or intuitive guidance and you're just kind of not, like, you're ignoring it. Like, this is like a gift from the universe and you're just sitting there with your hands crossed. Some people look at this as the meditative card. I actually look at it as you're not following your intuition. And with being in the reverse position, I think of that even more. Like, you're just ignoring thoughts, information that could be coming to you. And I think that's interesting with it in the present, because what this is signifying to me is that you could have a water sign around you, like a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces could be trying to give you information, or this also could signify that Scorpionic sun right now with that emotional truth. I think that there's somewhere that you're kind of like either lying to yourself, or like, remember I told you that in this Uranus Taurus time, you may hear something that you don't want to hear, or things may come up that have been hidden. I have a feeling that you're going to hear something that you don't want to hear, or that you just don't believe, or that you're just ignoring. So keep that in mind throughout this Taurus full moon, because there are going to be intuitive insights that come in, and if you totally ignore them, trust me, they're going to come back to bite you. So keep your thoughts open, even if you hear information you don't want to hear. Remember, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to stay that way, but remember, it's better to have the truth than just keep living in, obviously, denial. And Scorpio is that sign of digging to the truth. So you may not want to hear it, but you may need to hear it, if that makes sense. And in the future is the King of Cups. And once again, I'm still getting like that strong water energy with the cups. So we're still talking about a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, possibly this signifying. But with it being a King of Cups, I'm almost thinking like this could be a boss of yours. It could be you are the king and you are overlooking someone. It also could be there is a powerful force around you that's trying to make decisions and help you. So in the future, make sure you're keeping your eyes and intuitive thoughts kind of like as pure as you can, to make sure that you're bringing in information, because it seems like to me there's someone emotionally either trying to help you, or with it in reverse, there could be like a blockage, meaning like someone's trying to help you, but I'm getting back to this Four of Cups in the middle. It's almost like you're not wanting the help, or you're not accepting the help, or there's like intuitive thoughts that you're not following through on something. So we're gonna do some clarifiers there, because I wanna know why there's so much cup energy here. And with the card on the bottom, that was this Page of Swords, there is this idea of some type of mental clarity coming in. The Page of Swords usually indicates air energy, so it could be a Libra, I always get the air signs, an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. Could be some kind of information that comes to you that's brought to you either by a younger person, which is a Page, or it could be new information. So I'm almost feeling like, since the Page of Swords was upright, there might be some clarity that comes to you in the form of new messages, new information, but you're not quite sure what to do with it yet, because it is like new information. And especially at a full moon, don't be surprised if information comes to you but you don't know what to do with it. And it's more like you just need to keep it kind of like in your mind, keep it kind of like tucked away until you do know what to do with it. Because remember, we're still in Mercury retrograde, and so it's going to be probably the latter part of November and then into December before some of these messages might become clearer. So let's keep that in mind as we pull 3 clarifier cards, because I really want to find out, I think what is going to be interesting during this Taurus full moon is, it's happening on Halloween, right? And so anytime the spirit world is so thin, like the veil between, you know, they say the dead and the living, or however you look at Halloween or Hallows Eve, there is this sense of like the veil is really thin. And so I think that your intuitive thoughts or your intuition is going to be extremely heightened around October 31st. And so for a full moon occurring on that day, along with the conjunction with Uranus, I think that your intuitive thoughts are actually going to be the most heightened at this time. And so I think that's what this Four of Cups and King of Cups are signifying. But I want to pull some clarifiers and see why we have the Five of Pentacles in the past, the Four of Cups in the present, and the King of Cups in the future. And of course, they're all reversed. All right, so let's pull some clarifiers here. Let's cut the deck. All right, so, oop, I just heard shuffle again. Okay. Shuffling for the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so we just got the Three of Pentacles. That's interesting. A pentacle for a pentacle. Somewhere we were teaching someone something. Okay. For the present, we are clarifying the Four of Cups in reverse. We have the Devil card in reverse. And the future, King of Cups. Why is the King of Cups in reverse in the future? Ah, we have the Three of Swords. Okay, and but we have the Sun underneath. Okay, so that's a positive sign. Glad to see that Sun, because that Three of Swords sounds like we're going to be disappointed about something. So let's look at the past. So the Three of Pentacles usually signifies your work or somewhere that you have been teaching someone something. There could be either you were learning something. This could be literal, like you're going to school, in your job, you're teaching a subordinate, or you're learning from someone else, you're going to seminars. It can also mean that you have been trying to catch up on learning more about something in the physical world. So this could be like you going to classes, or there could be someone in your direct relationship in a physical way, especially with that Taurus energy. I'm almost thinking like this could be something related to your possessions or your job. But with it clarifying the Five of Pentacles, remember I was saying the Five of Pentacles could have been you were disappointed about some money that didn't come in, or possibly you were supposed to get a raise and didn't get a raise. But there's almost like this, you're not worried about the money anymore. You're not worried about, maybe you, actually I'm almost hearing you needed to get a better education, or you needed to get more clarity, finances. It sounds like you were trying to get something before in the past and you were worried about your finances, but now you're like taking classes to learn more. And I'm almost signifying this also as like financial health. Like maybe you were trying to, like I was telling you with my husband and I, we've been like really following like some financial independence type YouTubers that have like this whole lifestyle around, you know, learning how to like get out of debt, to like save more, but also to invest. And so I'm almost thinking that this seems like also if you've been like troubled with your finances, finances, or you've been like worried, there's almost like there's this educational component that seems like, whether this is work, it's your personal finances, it feels like in this Taurus full moon period, you're going to get almost like clarity or more positive information, because since it is in the upright position, it almost feels like you're now like not having to worry about what you were worrying about before. So that's a great sign. Moving into the present, we have the Devil in reverse, and the Devil is a good card to get in reverse, because upright, it usually means like you're too into your thoughts, or you are stuck in this place where someone is like ruling what you think, or you're feeling like someone's talking about you, or you're too worried about others and what they're saying about you. But in reverse, and since it's clarifying the Four of Cups, I feel like there's this no longer worrying about what people think. But remember, since that Four of Cups was like you haven't been using like your intuition, or you've been ignoring intuitive thoughts, the Devil coming in here to me sounds like in this Taurus full moon, pay attention to what you're ignoring, or pay attention to like the things that you're brushing off, because you could actually be making like a mountain over a molehill, as they say. Like you could be making things even larger in your head than they really are, or you could be focusing on people talking about you, or you may hear one little piece of gossip and then run with it, and then you're just like making it into something that it really never was in the beginning. And so I think with the Devil in reverse, it's telling you like, don't get caught up in all of the noise and the mess in your head. Like, don't ignore the intuitive thoughts that are coming in. And I feel like with the present, there seems like there's this transition that we're all going through. And it seems like, you know, at one time you were worried about your finances, and you were worried about like how you were going to like, you know, if you lost a job, you were worried about how you were going to find another one. Or if you were worried about a position that you didn't get, it feels like you've been like making up things in your head that aren't necessarily true. But if they are true, this Devil card in reverse is kind of like, take the facts for what they are, but then move forward. Like, don't get stuck in this like worrying about what you can't change, or worried about what things are in the past. So as you move forward to this King of Cups, this Three of Swords can mean a few things. Three of Swords often means that there is disappointment, or there is something that you've been carrying for a long time, and now like you're finally getting to this place where you're trying to deal with it, or maybe you haven't dealt with it. And with the King of Cups, remember before we were saying like this could be a person that has some emotional or intuitive information for you. But now that I see like this is in reverse, I feel like there might be some disappointment that is coming in the future around either your emotional health, or there could be someone who brings you not the best news in the future. But I'm also taking, since I see that Sun in the future, I'm almost thinking like this could also signify this emotional intuitiveness of this King of Cups and that Four of Cups. Since we're coming into this Taurus full moon, there is this kind of like, when you find out the information that was hidden from you, you're really like thrown off. Like that's what I'm getting here. It's kind of like that Scorpio Sun, like I said, it digs for the truth. And so I almost feel like there's this, whenever this information comes out, or what you've been trying to figure out and making bigger in your head, I think in this Taurus full moon time, we're gonna have to figure out how to emotionally deal with whatever that truth is that comes out. but once we deal with it, we're gonna feel better. And I think that's what this sun is saying. It's kind of like, yeah, this isn't gonna be like a walk in the park during this Scorpio time, but I do feel like this sun is telling us like, we can do this. Like we can totally make it better. And I think that the sun card is always like this. This is like the happiest card in the deck. It's the most positive sign that even though we did come through a rough patch here with the devil being all in our head, the heart, the Three of Swords with the daggers in the heart, we can heal from this. We don't have to like stay stuck in this place where we were like ignoring the information, ignoring like, you know, just wishing upon wishing. And I think it brings us back to this collaborator up here where it's kind of like, we definitely are sensing now that we're gonna need help to like get through this. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of just this election season and whatnot, is that we're not going to be able to just stay kind of like in our own world. And that's what I also think of with that Four of Cups. It's like you're so into your own self with the devil that you're not opening up to others in collaboration and figuring out, okay, you know what, I am feeling distraught over that news and information I heard, but maybe there's someone I can collaborate with. Maybe there's a colleague that can help me. Maybe there's resources out there. Remember, the Taurus full moon wants you to find more resources. It wants you to get more creative in how you make money, how you save money. You know, there's going to be almost like, I think, a enlightenment as we move through this Taurus full moon season. There is this energy around how can we better ourselves in terms of our emotional health, but also our physical well-being. And I think that this Page of Swords to me still keeps coming out because there's still some kind of messages that are going to keep being delivered to us throughout this season. And I want you to like not just shrug off new information. There might be new opportunities that maybe you need to look through and think about. Because I think that this Page of Swords is going to be bringing us like some real vital information during this Mercury retrograde season. And I think that we've all been getting like little glimpses of it, but we're not quite sure what to do with it yet. And I can already see that with all of the emotional things that we've kind of been ignoring, there definitely is this sense of like, we can make things better in the future, but we're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to like kind of let things come out. And like I said, when we move into November, there's going to be a new moon in Scorpio. And at that time is going to be probably when kind of like the hits the fan. There could be like more information that stemmed at this full moon in Taurus that finally culminate in 2 weeks, or it could take 6 months. Like the reality is sometimes it takes until the moon goes into its other phase 6 months later to like really see the fullness of it. But there is like some really positive things here. The sun is positive, and even though it feels a little heavy with the Three of Hearts, I call it the Three of Hearts, the Three of Swords, there is kind of like this learning from the past so that we can heal to the future. That's what I'm getting as this like overall theme here during this full moon in Taurus. So I think it's going to be a rough couple of weeks. Just be prepared for things that you weren't expecting. But at the same time, I think it's going to be positive if we know going into it, it's going to be rough, so that when things come at us, we know better how to approach and deal with it and kind of move on from that Three of Swords energy to the sun. Okay? So thank you all for joining me. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. We live in an apartment now, so I can hear cars going on outside, but this has been a really positive time for my husband and family and I. So we're just really excited to like get straight with our financial health And I think that this reading really signifies that this full moon in Taurus is going to be a good experience for all of us. It just depends on how we actually deal with it to be able to move to that sun. Okay, you all. Well, thank you for joining me on Scorpio Soul Time. Hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later. Bye.